At the ongoing virtual EU summit, COVID vaccinations top of mind. EU Chief Charles Michel admitted Thursday that Europe's vaccine rollout could continue to struggle for momentum in the coming weeks. And some leaders are calling for Europe to develop a so-called green passport. This would allow people who are vaccinated against COVID to resume activities such as travel and going to concerts. For more on this and the European approach to the COVID crisis, we're joined by our foreign affairs editor, Philip Turle. Hello, good morning. So good to see you today. Philip, why is Europe's vaccination program so sluggish? What's gone wrong?
Well, let's have a look at some figures, shall we, Charlie, to begin with. And you can see that the UK has vaccinated far more people than the rest of the European Union, 27.4%, 6% in Denmark, 4.4% in Spain and Germany, and 4% in France. That's just to name a few countries in the EU. There are four reasons for this. First of all, one, the United Kingdom is no longer in the European Union, so it didn't have to go through the EU red tape to license the vaccines and was far faster in getting them rolled out in December. Second reason is AstraZeneca did not come up with the order that it said it was going to come up with, only 25 to 30% of the original order being delivered in Europe, so that meant far fewer people could be vaccinated. Reason three, Europe doesn't produce its own vaccine, Charlie. It's dependent on vaccines produced elsewhere in the world, and to try to bridge that gap, even some European producers like Sanofi here in France are now going to have to start churning out under license vaccines, for example, like the Pfizer vaccine, to try to speed things up a little bit. And the fourth reason is that there is still reluctance amongst many Europeans to get vaccinated. Remember that figure here in France saying 60% of French people didn't want to get vaccinated? That's gone down to about 40%, 35% now. But recent comments that, for example, the AstraZeneca vaccine is not as efficient as the others, especially comments that were made by Emmanuel Macron himself, have made people a little bit cold when it comes to going out to get that vaccine, saying, well, we'd rather wait for the Pfizer vaccine or the Moderna vaccine rather than the AstraZeneca vaccine, which was a little bit more readily available.
So another topic, as we said, that is in the agenda at this EU summit is vaccine passports or certificates. Some EU nations are really pushing for this, looking ahead to the potential summer tourism season. What are the different arguments? Because France is against it.
Well, let's say the southern countries, notably Greece, which has signed a deal with Israel so that tourism can resume there. And there are countries like Italy and Spain which are heavily dependent on the tourist business, and they want their tourist business to survive. It's been heavily hit by the COVID outbreak, and the aviation industry is also keen to bring back customers because many companies have gone almost bust due to a lack of custom over the past year. So they're all in favour as quickly as possible of having this COVID passport, this vaccine passport, which is like, as you were saying, a green light to travel. The problem that France has underlined is that there are several things we don't know about the vaccines. A, we don't know whether the vaccines will last for long, whether that means people will become infectious again afterwards. Can they get the virus again a second time and the vaccine won't be any good in stopping that virus from taking effect on them? And the second thing is that they don't know how long the vaccine actually is good at keeping people from transmitting the virus even after they're vaccinated. So they say we can't give out a passport to people and then they can still infect others. It doesn't make any sense. And the third reason is that Emmanuel Macron says it's going to discriminate against those who've had the vaccine and those who haven't. And many of those who haven't had the vaccine are younger people. So they'll see their parents, their grandparents going out to concerts, to the theatre, on holiday, and they won't be able to do that. And on a human rights perspective, they're not allowed to introduce that kind of legislation in France.
Okay.